What's something you thought was cool as a kid but realized was illegal when you got older? When I was 8, my older brother Jake had the coolest job ever. He worked security for this warehouse downtown and always had tons of cash, new electronics, and the best sneakers. I didn't think it was weird that he worked nights and slept all day. I figured all security guards were like vampires, protecting buildings when everyone else was sleeping. I remember when my friend Marcus came over and saw Jake's room. 3 PlayStation systems, brand new iPhones still in boxes, designer clothes with tags still on. Jake told us he got employee discounts on damaged merchandise. I proudly explained to Marcus, my brother gets first pick of anything that falls off trucks during delivery. Jake had these weekly inventory meetings with his crew. Guys in expensive cars would show up at our house, stay for an hour, then leave with garbage bags full of stuff. Mom would disappear upstairs during these meetings, and Dad would watch TV with the volume turned way up. I thought it was just how security companies worked. They'd find lost packages and sell them to employees cheap. Made perfect sense to my 8-year-old brain. At school, I was the kid with the newest everything. Game Boy Color before anyone else had one. Air Jordans that wouldn't release for months. Pokemon cards that accidentally got shipped early. My teacher asked where I got limited edition toys, and I confidently said, my brother works security at the place where they store everything before it goes to regular stores. Every house had rules, right? Ours was that we never talked about Jake's work details. If anyone asked what company he worked for, we'd say logistics. If cops ever came to the door, we were supposed to say Jake wasn't home. I made a game of it, pretending we were secret agents protecting classified information. My best friend Tommy thought it was awesome, like we lived in a spy movie. Your brother's job is so cool, he'd say. My dad just sits at a desk all day. One night in 4th grade, I was getting a glass of water and saw Jake and his crew loading boxes into a truck in our driveway. I waved, and Jake quickly shut the garage door. The next morning, I found $50 on my dresser with a note. Thanks for being quiet last night, Jake. I remember thinking, wow, I get money for not bothering people at work. This is awesome. But when I told Dad about the money, his face went white and he made me promise never to watch Jake's work again. When I asked why, he said, Jake's job is complicated, buddy. He's helping people get things they need, but adults have to handle it. For my social studies project in 5th grade, I did a presentation on different careers. I proudly included security inventory specialist and explained how my brother helped redistribute merchandise to families who couldn't afford retail prices. My teacher looked confused and asked to speak with my parents. That day, my dad came to school and had a long private conversation with the teacher. When he picked me up, he said we were getting ice cream and having a man-to-man talk. It wasn't until my criminal justice class in college, 12 years later, when the professor described organized retail theft and fencing operations, that everything suddenly clicked. She talked about warehouse crews, inside jobs, and criminal networks that steal merchandise to resell on the black market. That day, I called my dad and finally asked about Jake's security job and all those late-night meetings. The long silence before he answered told me everything I needed to know. What I had seen as my brother having the coolest job ever was actually him running a theft ring, and our entire family had been quietly protecting his criminal operation while I bragged about it at school. Jake spent 3 years in federal prison when I was in high school. I told everyone he was traveling for work.